Like she said, my name is Scott Hobbs. I'm one of the owners of Hobbs Plumbing and Mr. Rooter Plumbing. We service Northwest Florida. We kind of have a smaller footprint for the new construction portion of our business. My father started Hobbs Plumbing in 1973, and he's that old guy right in the middle. And he just did everything. Just whatever came along, if you had a plumbing project needed done, he would take care of it. So that's before we kind of specialized. I grew up as a little kid going out on job sites with him, and then later going into the truck with plumbers that worked for him, and just learning the trade that way. Worked every summer as a teenager in the field, digging ditches and crawling through attics, whatever I had to do to be the do boy, basically. Nobody gave me any special favors because I was the owner's son. I think they treated me worse, which was probably good for me. So he had gone out of the plumbing business for a short period of time, and then in 1989, him and I became business partners and started a plumbing company. So when I was in high school, the guidance counselor brought me in, and that's where they, back then, a long time ago, they had to talk with, hey, we got to get you prepared for college. And I said, well, I'm not going to college. And they said, well, you got to go to college. Why are you not going to college? I'm either going to own and run a plumbing company, or I'm going to be a car salesman. That's what I'm doing. I don't need to go to college. So they kind of shunned me from there, not bashing college at all. I'll talk more about that in a minute. So in 1989, before we went into the plumbing business, I went and sold cars. Great education on customer service skills, people skills, how to interact, how to communicate, that sort of thing. And I was just begging my father the whole time, let's go back in the plumbing business. This has just been my dream. So we did. We went back, started out just him and I. We were 24/7, just me and him, working. Now, 35 years of overnight success. We've got how many employees you see there?
On average, we have 100 employees. They fluctuate because of, if we keep you a year, you're going to stay. If you're not there for the year, it's usually because it's not a good fit. So I think in the picture we had 85 people show up for the picture. So this is what you see right here is the 85 current people. And this was the original people. They've been here, he's been here 30, they've been here in their 20 years. This row right here is trainers and management, and they've been here from, I would say, 10 to 20 years. Then the next row up is your 5 to 10 years, and the last row is your less than 5 years. And when I say that, these are our growth. It's not that we have a big turnover. We don't. We have a very small turnover. It's just that we're constantly growing because of the number of houses that we do in new construction, and because of the services constantly growing. So we really have a phenomenal group of people. They stay with us. We love them. Matt, how long have you been here?
10 years and
10 years. Ooh, gosh, you get your 10-year bonus. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's where we've ended up. But back to the education part, I told my counselor I don't want to go to college. I want to figure this out on my own. I told my dad to be very successful. I can learn everything I need to know from him about business. Well, that's not quite true. So I paid for the education. I may have circumvented and went around the university, but I paid for my education one way or the other. I had to learn how to go through financials, learn how to interpret financials as it relates. I had to learn how to buy insurance. I had to learn marketing. Had to bring in people that's smarter than me and learn how to manage. So I know you guys are here for the technical side, but I want to make sure that you understand there's so many opportunities in this trade and the trades, not just to be a plumber working in the field, but you can go on to be management within a company. You can grow, and all these people here that are on that bottom row that are in the management, they started out as plumbers. You can grow on to own your own company. For example, one of the things that we do, and I think Matt's in the program, is we're sponsoring him to get his master license, so he could eventually go on to either qualify our company or go into business for himself. So there's so many opportunities, and Pam's going to talk more about as far as how much you can earn, and kind of go deeper into that from the management side. So you're in a trade and you have an opportunity that's not going to go away with AI. You can't, in my conception, you can't teach a robot to go in and have a communication with Mrs. Jones, talk to her about this ghost of a problem she's having with her plumbing, walk in there and figure it out. It needs to be a human. I'm not going to let a robot come in and tell me where this unknown leak is at. I don't think you can have a robot go in and do some of the things that Matt does and put the plumbing in a house. The dirt conditions are always different, never the same. It's not like a systematic robot that's building a car in a factory. So I think you're in a trade that's going to become, the person is going to be scarce. So, you know, the tradespeople are going to be scarce. The average plumber right now is probably in their 50s. So 10 to 15 years, they're going to be retiring, and somebody's got to fill that spot, because robots are not going to do it, AI is not going to do it. So as, and she'll talk a little bit about this, as the demand gets higher for the tradesperson, the pay gets higher, and you elevate your status as a professional. But you should be right there with the status of a doctor or a lawyer, maybe even more so, because you're protecting the health of the nation. Think about, you're running raw contaminated sewage within inches of fresh potable water that you're about to drink, and you're keeping all of those from cross-connecting. You're learning, I'm sure, all of those type things. So think about how important that was, you know, to eliminate the Black Plague and such as that. So you're in a great position to do a lot of great things in your life. You've got a great future in this industry. So I'm going to turn it over to Pam. I brought Pam in. She had a professional background in HR and corporate training. I brought her in about 2005 as I saw that full-time, as I saw that we were starting to really grow, and it was exceeding my management skills and ability, because I didn't go to college for that kind of stuff, but I was smart enough to hire people smarter than me to fill in those gaps. So this is Pam Hobbs, my wife. She's also one of the owners.
So when I started with them, okay, this was our people that were here. These three right here, and this gentleman here, that was, so there was 5 of us when I started with him. And he saw the potential. He is 100% a visionary. I am a, what would you call it, a do boy or do woman or do person? An integrator is what he calls me. I did have 2 years of college. I did work for a corporation. I also was a certified technical writer, and I worked in I managed the training department. I was a training director. He asked me to come over, and I was like, woo, I don't want to give up teaching. I love teaching. He said, well, you can still do it. You're just going to do it for plumbers. So I left, resigned. He had to buy out my contract. So I left, resigned, and I came to work for him, and we did this in 20 years. The biggest thing I can tell you is you have to care for your people. You have to love them just like their family, but you can't be afraid to fire them when they won't be part of the team. And I have that kind of reputation. Do I not, Matt?
No, you never got mad at me.
I never, well, that's because you're exemplary. How you say it? Exemplary. Got it? Barely. The thing that I want you to comprehend is make sure you have a good driver's license. Make sure that you are drug-free. Make sure that your credit is good, only because when you start with a company, they'll do background checks, well, we do. They're gonna do drug tests, and you have to be able to be a part of their insurance company. And if you have a bad driver's license, they can't insure you, therefore you can't drive one of their vehicles, and the likelihood that you'll get to work for them is pretty slim, other than maybe a helper until your driver's license gets better, which can take anywhere from 3 to 7 years depending on what's on your driver's license. So those are the things that you want to guard as you get out into that workforce, and that means in your personal life. That doesn't just mean driving a business truck. Your personal life, whatever's on your driver's license, will be reflected so that you will or will not be able to drive for that company, okay? The other thing that I want you to be aware of is whenever you start with a company, usually they're, depending on your experience, they're gonna start you at a lower rate. That's just the way it is. You determine where you're at and where you work yourself up to. We have helpers that we get. On average, we start them at $25 an hour. Then as they progress and have been with us a while, they start to either earn what we call piecework, which they're paid for how much work they complete in the day, or they are paid what is called percentage work, which they're paid on a percentage of the job that they complete. And then we have some that are split, they're hourly plus piecework. It all depends on the position that you're in. Just so you know, it's good to see women here because women make great plumbers. So, telling you right now, we've had women plumbers. Our demographics of the people that we go see on the service side are mainly women. They feel so much more comfortable with a woman being there. The husband feels more comfortable that it's a woman. And our plumbers that are female do very well in the field. So don't think that that would be a hindrance. It would not.
I don't
Okay?
think they feel that way.
Good, good, because we really love, we've had women plumbers in the past, they've retired, you know, we really miss it, so feel free to come see us when you're done here, okay? But, and the same with you gentlemen. The thing that we love most about our team is that they are going to literally be their own business. If you look at when you come in and you're doing piecework, we have people that on average make $50,000 or more. Our higher end, I won't make you tell, but I can tell you this, our higher end are in the 80,000s, 90,000s, and our highest guy that we have, he's 140,000, is what he did last year. So this is not a low-paying job. When you get in the field and you get really good, and you can find a company that you can grow with and that you can advance. We have people that, they've all started as plumbers. He is now our operations manager, been with us 30 years. Matt is on the training team, been with us 10 years. Then we have Brian Vickery's been with us 20 years. He now does the bid on new construction jobs and pretty much runs the facility. I mean, there are positions that you go up in. We have a dispatch manager, an HR manager. So on the admin side, you can also do that. There are no positions that are just plumbing, and we hire from within, we promote from within. So that as you're with us, your knee gives out, you can't do, you know, the hard work anymore. Okay, that means you're gonna be my training manager. He is 56, something like that. His knees are bad, so now we use his brain. He comes in, he trains the trainers, and he's still working, still making good money because he was a plumber, and he was a dang good plumber, and now we use his brain. We just take that knowledge from him, and we train it down the line. He trains the trainers, the trainer trains the tech. And that's how we hire. We don't have to and don't require that you know how to be a plumber. It's a blessing if you do, but we will train you on the job so that you can find out how we do things, the system that we install, how we work, and that way you're promoted from within based on your performance. It's not just limited to you're a plumber, once a plumber, always a plumber. There are places that you can go up. If you find the right company, they will give you benefits. Some of our benefits are, if you've been with us for 5 years, we will get you your master's license. You do have to sign a non-compete, and you do have to sign that we'll prorate you if you leave us. You have to pay us back. Cost about $7,500 to get your master's license. You finished the first half, have you?
No, but Wiggins has, I'm about to.
Wiggins has? Okay, we have currently right now, we have had, and one of them is no longer with us, but he did sign their non-compete. But we had 5 that we made them master plumbers, so they have become master plumbers. He's doing it, David Wiggins is doing it, and what happens is, if you become a master plumber and you are a backup to certifying the company, then you get an extra salary, because if something happens to the master plumbers, we can step right in. That is so you're never without the certification, and you don't ever have to shut your doors. You can just continue on. So it's very important that if you become, do they get that when they're here, or how does that? No, they just get like a journeyman?
No,
No?
no, they're getting a really good head start on becoming a great plumber.
Good.
They're getting acquainted with everything to do with plumbing, including the codes. They get to solder and everything. They get hands-on primarily residential practice things.
Okay.
when you say no compete, I understand that, there are some that
Oh, okay.
understand it, but I was wondering if you could
Yeah, what a
explain
no
that.
compete is, if we get you your masters, okay, that means that you have the opportunity to quit us, take some of our customers, and go become your own plumbing company. What we have you doing is a corporate agreement that's done through our corporate lawyer, and she draws up a contract that says, and it's for 2 years, that if you quit us, the master plumbing belongs to you, that's yours, that license is yours. But if you quit us, you cannot, in our area, go into the business of being a plumber and compete against us for 2 years, because we paid for your certification. In addition to that, if you leave us and you have it put in, I think it's 5 years or 7 years, I forget how much it calculates, but then you have to pay us back, and it's prorated. So if you leave us and we pay $7,500 and you only work the 2 years, and we take the $7,500 and we split it over however many years, and you have to pay us back that. Do you see how it works? And that is a legal binding contract that you sign before we send you to get your master plumbers. But we will work with you to get it, and our goal and our hope is, one, you'll certify our company, and the other one is, if you leave and you go open your own business somewhere else or whatever happens to make you grow, I want you to grow. It's important that you grow, and it's important that we continue on having plumbers. The good thing about plumbing, he had touched a little bit on it, but the other part is, if there's a hurricane, guess who's some of the first people you're gonna need when that hurricane passes through? Your plumbers. Because you're destroying all the houses, everything has to be redone, septic tanks have to be redone, plumbing has to be redone, and they're gonna let you in the door and you're working right away. So yes, the plumbing company took a big hit when the Hurricane Michael came, but it also put us back on the map. So it may have destroyed us, but it built us back. So we did lose our building, we had 10 of our employees who lost their home, but we built it back together. We built their homes back first, then we turned around and built our community's homes back. So if you get a really sound company, they're in it for you, and they will give you as much as you give them. And that's what you need to look for when you're looking for what plumbing company that you want to work for, is somebody who has benefits for you. The other thing we did when COVID hit, we still did the work, and we had to, unfortunately, one trade in at a time, so you couldn't have multiple trades in, but we continued, and we paid you through COVID, so that we didn't lose you because of COVID. So you need that type of company to look for. Yes, I am tooting our horn, because yes, when you leave here, come see me. Okay, that's what I'm telling you right now, come and see me. We're always hiring, we're always looking for good people. We have the new construction side and we have the service side. So one of the things that I want you to be aware of is we are very good to our people are very good to us, but would I fire you if you are detrimental or a hazard or a liability to the team? In a heartbeat. Won't even bat an eye. I'll say thank you for your service, I appreciate it. Wish you well. Don't have a problem with it, because I'm in control of these people. And there is one person that's bad, but I have 80 that are fantastic. Am I gonna let that one person destroy these 80 people? No way. Not gonna happen, okay? So build your integrity on top of your technical skills, because it's extremely important. Integrity is very much who you are, who you want to be, and will you own your own company one day. And my goal is that when you leave here, you work for us and you own your own company one day, or you buy me out. We'll work for that, okay? But my point I'm making to you is who you are today and who you want to be tomorrow depends on your own growth. It's you who have to make that decision. And don't just use the technical. Look at your integrity and who do you want to be, okay? Matt is our new construction plumber. He is also a trainer. Matt is really good because there's one thing that I truly believe in. Whenever you have a problem or concern, don't bring me the problem or concern without the what?
Solution.
Bingo, the solution. Scott will say, don't bring me a dead cat without a shovel. Okay? This young man right here, He's probably, we've been doing this, or I have, Scott's been doing it longer, 20 years, and I put out a box that said, tell me what concerns you have in the field, what's bothering you, what can we improve on, and give me a solution. I've had that out forever, okay? He is the only person who ever fills that box, and he always brings me a solution. So we research it, we look at it, and lo and behold, they're great, suggestions with the solution right there, and we usually, I don't think we haven't implemented a one of them, have we?
Yeah, most of them.
Most of them have been implemented, and he is really, I have to, can I tell the humorous part?
Yeah.
So when he came to work for us, we walked in to do the application. I have a weird sense of humor, and one of the young ladies in the office, I said, he ain't gonna make it, because he had a little tie on, a little tucked in shirt, and I said, boy, he ain't gonna be able to take that heat, he ain't gonna be able to take the cold. I said, $10 says he don't make it. I lost. He's fantastic. Okay? Go ahead, Matt.
And Matt, before you start, you gotta make sure you fill in the blanks and tell them what your goal was. In our interview, I said, hey, what are you gonna do? Where are you going?
Oh, yeah, no,
And
my
then
original,
the change of heart.
yeah, my original goal was to work with them while I was going through college for electrical engineering. Then kept with that for a while. That's probably like after school, worked during the day, went to school at night for probably about 4 years or so. And then just the money that I was getting from doing this piecework wise was just outpacing what like an electrical engineer would make even like after the 5 years I was doing it. And that's not even including like subtracting what you're paying for school and like the opportunity cost of that. So that just didn't make sense to go to school anymore because they were paying me what I'd be making as an electrical engineer, like just doing the plumbing. And it really is just as much work as you want. They got it. With it being piecework, it's just as quick as you can do it, and like, as long as you're doing it well, then they'll keep giving it to you. But as far as like my beginnings, like before this, I was selling cell phones, so it's not like I had or doing other retail stuff. I wasn't doing a bunch of like mechanical trades or any kind of trade at all. So like didn't have anything. Started here about 3 months later. They had me in my own truck, and I was going for it, making piecework. I think $30 a fixture now, but like that's just. It started out a little bit lower than that, but it's just they raise it up with the economy. The more they get paid, the more we get paid. So they definitely transfer it down. They're just a great company to work for.
I paid it for
Yeah, she doesn't actually, because that's not what I get paid for. But she's like, they really do treat you like family. Not all companies do that, so you want to definitely get one that treats you right and will like take care of you. And they definitely do that without fail. But they they'll help you get your tools. They'll help you get like everything. They'll just payroll deduct it if you like, because when you start out, you're not gonna have everything. So that first set, they'll like just payroll deduct it. You don't have to pay for it until after your 90 days. So you'll have the tools that you need to do the job that you're going to do, and you just learn it as quick as you can, and then you get out on your own, and then you start making real money. And that happened so quick for me that it didn't make sense to keep going to school.
Can you maybe tell them a day in their life, like how your day starts when you
Oh,
get
yeah,
to the
yeah, of
office,
course.
and kind of the time of day maybe even, and go through a day?
I mean, you can, at our particular side of things, you can get there anywhere before 8, but I usually get there around 5:30. And then pick up my job for the day, and then just out the door. And then you're basically by yourself or with a helper for the rest of the day. You don't see them or like pretty much anybody at the shop unless they come by to check on you for the whole rest of the day. You're doing your own thing, putting all the plumbing in, making your own decisions, just making sure like the houses are built right, everything's in the right spot.
it. They have a checklist that
Yeah.
they have to, pictures that they have to take, yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first, like with a trim out, so you're putting all the toilets and water heater, everything that you see in a house in. You get there, you lay everything out, make sure the house is good, make sure that they actually have countertops and floors in for you. Make sure your fixtures are right, and install all that, and then go through the checklist, making sure nothing's leaking, like caulking and grout and everything, and just making it the finished house that the people want. We're built America, with all this, like making sure everybody has a house to be in. So you gotta make sure it's perfect.
Yeah. And then after he finishes, after they finish whatever phase they're in, then we have a QC guy comes in behind them, and the QC guy comes in and makes sure that you did everything to code, that you did everything to the standard that we require, you know, that it's ready for the next phase. Then once he gives you the okay, and we have the punch, meaning that, oh, I found something wrong, we call it a punch, but it just means it's not up to standard, or it's maybe a little crooked, or an inch off, or a half inch off, depending on what it is. And so then you're sent back, and you're sent back to do your punch at no pay. Because if you'd have done it right the first time, done it correctly, then there wouldn't be a reason for you to have to go back. So that's why it's real important, and we have regular meetings, and we go over the punch to find out, is it a training issue? Did we not give you the right tool? I mean, why does this keep occurring? For instance, we had a time frame there where hot water and cold water lines were crossed, and it was getting very frustrating, because it's like, I'm having to send too many people back to switch those lines. What is going on? Well, come to find out, the supplier wasn't getting us enough of the, what is it, red and blue or red and green?
It's red and blue.
Red and blue. So they were using
Pex
one
piping.
color, huh?
PEX piping.
Yeah, they were using one color for both of them.
They
And
use
so-
PEX A, they don't use PEX B.
Right.
So what was happening is they were piping the house in all the same color, and you can't remember which one was the hot without tracing it back, so that's why they were getting crossed. So I turned around and made it mandatory. First of all, let's make sure that our supplier gets us enough pipe so that you're not having to do this, and it's your responsibility to make sure before you pull out of here that you have the correct colors on your truck. And if you don't, when you arrive at the job site, you make a phone call and you get it there. No more piping the house in one color. See, so we identify why do we keep returning on the punch, what is going on, and then we also coach you so that you're not doing it over and over and over again, because it's not productive for you. You're not gonna make money if you're having to go out on a, what we call a free return trip, you know, because we're not paying you to fix your own mistake.
They are really good about that. Like if you are having a problem in the field, all you gotta do is come and talk to them, and they'll find a solution for you. Sometimes whether you like it or not, but they'll get you a solution to help you through the day and make sure you're doing everything right and to their standards. And so long as you do, you're not gonna have those punches, and you're not gonna be going back for you to do anything, because you're just gonna keep going with the piecework and keep putting the stuff in. As long as you put it in right, then like there's not gonna be any of that free work. It's just gonna be putting in the stuff and making money.
And the difference between new construction and service is, new construction, you don't technically see the customer. I mean, you'll talk to the contractor, superintendents, but you're not seeing the person who's purchasing the home, which is beneficial. You're also not dealing with the,
Only water in the pipes. There's only water in the pipes.
yeah, there's not any sewage, okay, that hasn't happened yet. So you're dealing just a little cleaner. But I'll be honest with you, if you want to make the gentleman that makes 140, 150,000, what do you think he does?
Service.
Service. And
And
what do you think he,
specifically within service.
specifically in service, what do you think he does?
He's the turd chaser.
Yeah, bud, he's drain cleaning. You want to make money? Do drain cleaning. That's where your money's at. Because if they're not going to want to get the poop out of the toilet, they're gonna pay somebody really good to get the poop out of the toilet. And he does drain cleaning and strictly drain cleaning. He doesn't want or do anything else. And on top of that, he only does the sales. He doesn't even do, he's worked himself up. He's been with us 20-something years, to now all he does, go out, camera the line, look at it, find the solution, and he turns around and presents it to him, gets the sales, and he's making that off of 8% of the sales. And he's between 140 and 150,000 just in sales, because he has now worked himself up to where he has what we call an underground crew, that they go out and they do the physical work. He bid the job so that it will include his 8% plus their physical work, and therefore, when you have poop in the line, you have money. You can take it all the way to the bank. And not that we have integrity, we're just as competitive as the next guy. We're not gonna try to shaft you, we're not gonna jack up the price. But my point I'm making is, the dirtier the job, the more it pays. So if you wanna walk out of here and make money, learn to do drain cleaning. Really
And
good
specifically, what
jetters.
he does a lot of after the hurricane, all these homes were demolished. Everybody went in, put on a new roof, new outside, new paint, new floors, all this stuff, and they forgot they had pipes under the slab that were 50, 60 years old. So they got this brand new beautiful home, and then the drains are stopping up. We run a camera in the line, and the bottom of that cast iron is just rotted out, it's just gone. So are we gonna destroy that house again to jackhammer the floor to get into that pipe? Or are we gonna find another solution? So what we started doing is a process called relining or coating. So we go in and we clean the pipe remotely, and then we go in with a fiberglass sleeve, and Dodge, when he's here, he's gonna show you some samples of that. We reline that pipe with a fiberglass.
We have watched videos online about that.
Yes, lots of videos on that. And there's also a process that we use called Percoat, and it's an industrial coating for the smaller pipes, like a kitchen line. You're gonna have, you know, a split. You got 2 bathrooms over here, kitchen and laundry over here, where you got a 2-inch line that goes all the way across the house. And that grease is the worst thing on cast iron. Sometimes we'll have 60, 70% of the pipe that's left in that bottom is gone. We do some really cool things with that. Once we clean it, there's a cavity underneath. We have to fill that. The first time I saw it, I'm like, what are we doing buying bags of marbles? This is, why are we paying for bags of marbles? Well, they take those marbles and they push them down the pipe and they start to fill that void. And they get it filled up, and then they take play sand, you know, the white play sand, and then they push that through, and they get it nice and smooth, and it creates a host pipe, like a cast almost. And then we run the camera and the machine down, and it coats that 2-inch. And you're watching it on camera as you're pulling that camera back. And once it cures, it's like a brand new pipe, be there for several more decades. So there's some really cool technology that's fun to learn, fun to perform, takes a lot of detail, you know, so many opportunities. And so many different genres under the heading of just plumbing, so many different ways you can go. We're not even talking about commercial plumbing, industrial plumbing, all those sides.
And on top of that, what you need to recognize is what's the difference between service and new construction. Service, you are dealing with the customer. Service, it means they called you because they have a problem, not because life is good. So you have to be able to communicate in service. You have to be able to listen. You have to be able to have that integrity. You have to be able to make them feel like you have empathy with them and that you want to help their day, not that you want to cha-ching. It's not about how much money can you make, it's about how happy can you make that customer and how can you do it where they can afford it. So we offer financing, you know, we offer other typical things, you know, like multiple options, like, and you know, this might be the least expensive, this might be the most expensive. So you look at the differences on what's allowable to fix this, and that's the difference between your service side. The service side, if you cannot communicate with strangers, not for you, go to new construction. Because on the service side, you have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to let them speak to you, you have to have the empathy, and you have to be able to communicate back with them on the same level. This is Dodge on our service side. He was our technician of the year last year. He does a great job, makes good money, has a great attitude with people. He gets a lot of 5-star Google reviews. The greatest thing about him is we have created a persona for him on the radio with Dr. Shane.
Well, on one of the radio stations, he was referred to us by that host. And so the host loved to just mention, hey, this is a success story, somebody I referred. And I think Dodge can tell you stories, but he'll go to people's homes and they're like, Dodge, you're a real person?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Because he's mentioned on the radio all the time, and now they find out that Dodge is real, because they thought he was fake, but he's real, and he gets,
Very much so.
yeah. Yeah, but Dodge, if you'll go ahead and tell them a little bit about
Just
you
tell
and
them
what you do.
your beginning, where you started, your mindset maybe when you first came to us, and,
Yep.
and kind of how you
But
progressed.
let me tell you this, how old are you?
26.
26 years old, he just bought his first home,
Yeah,
yeah, because of where he's at in life, so good job.
thank you. But, yeah, so, I went the whole college route, started at Gulf Coast, then eventually moved to Tallahassee, trying to you know, progress through college. I never liked college, you know, or I never liked high school to begin with, so I was like, you know, trying to follow footsteps. But, so essentially in plumbing though, knew I wanted to choose a career. Didn't want to get shocked, figured I could wash my hands, so went with plumbing. And so I was working at the airport at the time where my boss there was radio personality as well. That's how I kind of got in with Scott. So past that, started, got the job. I mean, I was 3 years ago, close to being flat broke. So
And what did you know about plumbing when you
oh,
started?
absolutely nothing. You know, I just wanted to get into something to pursue a career in. Knew I didn't like school, went into a trade, and it has worked out tremendously. So I'm able to afford a house now. Yeah, I mean, I've grown way further than what I even thought, you know.
And
So,
how many years have you been here?
3.5.
Yeah, that's in 3.5 years. And it is basically what you put into it. Hey, you gotta show them your tattoo.
Oh yeah, you got,
This is how much you
since, you know, I've got a little plumbing tat. Told them they'd have to pay me to get the Rooter logo, but yeah, paid to the game, so. But yeah, that's kind of my story. It's short.
Tell them the toughest part of being service.
Time. It's pretty strenuous on the time, you know, late nights, been out 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're pretty good about holidays. You know, I don't work on Thanksgiving, don't work on Christmas and 4th of July, so, but anything else, you know, you do have to have that time available for everyone because life goes on. People gotta go to the bathroom, brush their teeth, you know. Nice having hot water. It's not necessarily an emergency, but you know, that's everyone's day-to-day life now is to shower in hot water, so yeah.
Talk to them about your specialty and what you do most of and what you prefer to do and what you like within the service side.
What I'm good at and what I prefer to do is a little different. You know, I'm pretty good at drains. I am trying to, you know, still early in the career, 3.5 years, but I am trying to get out of that drain isolation and, you know, go into bigger stuff, you know, big gas lines, running gas, like repiping houses. Just did a repipe for my very first time all by myself, like 2 weeks ago. So it's slowly grown. It's a fast and slow process though. So, but sky's the limit with it. I mean, I had no idea where I'd be right now 3.5 years ago, like I said, and I've exceeded all my expectations. So it's been good to me.
So when we brought him in, we recognized right away that he had mechanical ability, he had people skills, communication skills, and we wanted to get him in a truck as fast as possible to be productive for the company, for himself. We wanted him to progress. So one of the easiest things to do is to start out doing drains. And as she mentioned, you know, it is really the most profitable for the company and for the technician, and it's very rewarding for the homeowner because it's like I've got all this raw sewage in my bathtub that I take a bath in, and I don't know how to get rid of it. So you're solving, you know, a very, I mean, in their mind, we see it every day, so it's kind of numb to it, but in their mind, this is horrible. This is the worst thing that could happen. I wake up to sewage in my bathtub. So that's a segue. 3.5 years, he got into that within a few months, and he was working his own truck, making money for himself, you know, making customers happy, customers smile. And she alluded to the communication side. Go on our Panama City, Mr. Rooter of Northwest Florida, Google. We've got 500 and something reviews. Read the 5-star reviews, and I challenge you to find any of the reviews that say anything about how good he is at running a sewing machine, or how good this guy is at soldering, or how good this guy is at putting pipe together. It's all about how this technician made me feel. He cleaned up afterwards. He was very professional. I mean, it was all about the soft skill side. So I know she said, you know, if you're not into that kind of thing, go into new construction, but you're still going to have people skills. You're still going to have to learn how to communicate with superintendents, you have to
Deal
communicate
with
with
the office with superintendents. and-
yeah, superintendents can be worse than the worst customer you ever run across sometimes, so you still have to develop those skills. And it's gonna be a lifetime of learning. I'm still doing things now to improve my leadership skills and learning skills, because we can always get just a little better.
And then the other thing too is, they teach, they train, you know. We get new hires, they ride with Dodge, and they learn what our standards are, they learn what our plumbing requirements are, because there's more than just code, you know, code is what you have to do, but we wanna take it up a notch. So we might do something just a little bit better, only because you have to outshine your competition. And to outshine your competition, you have to show you care, you have to give them service, not just fix their technical needs. You have to give them service. What happens is, you have people calling back and asking for Dodge. Y'all sent Dodge, I like Dodge, can I please have Dodge back? And they're willing to wait to get Dodge back. We have 80% of our service side is repeat customers. If you build your rapport with that customer, they'll wait for you. So you literally kind of build your own little business within a business. And it works out beneficial, because if they call and they ask for you, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure you go back to them. I'm not gonna send them someone else. Now, if he's on vacation or whatever, then we'll say, hey, Mrs. Smith, he's on vacation, he won't be back until the 5th. Do you wanna wait, or can we send someone else? And then I'll let them determine if they wanna wait, or do we send someone else. But it's really beneficial for you to develop in the service side, communication skills and caring. You know, improve who you are by caring about people. It's very, very important.
So we want to show you some stuff in the trucks, but we don't have to do that yet. I'm sure you guys have questions. Is there any questions you have of us? Anything's on the table? Just, what do you got?
How long are your training programs last for? Or
It depends on and she can answer this, but quickly, we had him out in a truck within a few months doing drains. He was in a truck within a few months doing drains. I always say, you're always gonna be learning. I'm still learning stuff about plumbing as technology changes. But we can probably have somebody in a truck doing simple tasks on their own between 90 days and 6 months. But it's, again, Dodge has been 3.5 years, and he's starting to learn other aspects of plumbing. You know, he got his wheels going so he can make money and be productive, but now he's saying, hey, throw this at me. I'm not afraid, I wanna learn it.
Yeah, basically, there is no set time, period. It is all dependent upon you. How much knowledge you have, how quickly you learn, and where you wanna be.
It's individual
Yeah,
based.
I've had people that are been in training for 6 months and they finally were on their own. I've had people that have been in training for 30 days and they were on their own. It is 100% dependent upon you. There's not a set time. And I tell them that when they're coming in. I said, while you're in training, you will be $25 an hour. Once you're through a training, you have an option to stay $25 an hour, which if you do, you're not very smart. Okay, or you can go to percentage paid or piecework paid, because that's where you make your money. When we have new construction, we bid the labor on the job. We give the entire labor on the job to the plumber. We do not keep any of the labor on the job. On the service side, you get 20% of what you sold it for. So if you're getting $25 an hour and you just sold a $30,000 job, that's gonna hurt. But it was your choice. And we tell you, think this through, because you can't bounce back and forth. And usually what we'll do is I'll lock you in at an hourly rate for 6 months. At the end of that 6 months, I will have shown you what you could have made if you've been on percentage, what you made because you were on hourly. Choose now, right now choose, do you want another 6 months or do you want to switch to percentage paid? Because I'm not gonna let you hop back and forth, you know, because I had a good time, had a bad time. No, it's pick. And so once the year is up and you've seen this is what you made, this is what you could have made. So you get another chance to pick. I don't allow you to hop back and forth, and I don't allow you to go 3 months. It has to be a 6-month time. You're locked in for 6 months. And the reason I did that is because it lets you see slow times versus fast times, you know. For instance, our busy time is actually December to about March, especially if we get a freeze. Because you would be surprised at the people who do not realize that those pipes aren't 6 feet down, and that you better leave water running somewhere in your house, because if you don't, and if you have a tankless water heater, you better leave your hot water running somewhere in your house, because if you don't, something's gonna freeze. And so for us, during that time frame, there's a lot going on. We have people, you gotta think about it, most of the people that come down to us, they're retired from up north. And up north, I think it's code that things are at least 6 feet, some places it's 8 feet. Here, there technically is no code for how deep. We do 18 inches to 2 feet. And they'll go, well, the pipes are 6 foot under, how did they freeze? Ma'am, 6 foot under, you'd have a pool. You know, they don't get that. So we educate on our Facebook, we educate when they go out, but the point that I'm making for you is how long you're in training is dependent upon how fast you learn and how much you will push yourself to go forward.
And your confidence level, I think these two guys, they're very confident in their ability, and they weren't afraid to say, hey, I'm ready to jump right in. You know, Dodge, we'll send him on something, he said, you know, let me give it a shot. I know I got support back at the office. Somebody can come out if there's something I just absolutely can't be talked through. So it's really your confidence level as well.
Do you have a question?
I noticed that you're saying we'll send you out in your own truck and then you work on your own. Do you not have crews that do certain things, or people that seem to specialize, like?
We do have people that specialize, however, everybody is able to do everything, but like, for instance, if you got people who don't want to get dirty, you know, they don't want to do drains, so we don't make them do the drains, they only do the drains if they're required. But every service truck is fully equipped for everything.
I'm talking about on
On new
production,
construction?
on the,
New construction.
so like, you know, once you have all the plans figured out, so you know where you're gonna pull your strings and all that,
Yes.
you got somebody who can go to forums and pull
Okay,
3 sets of.
we do it in, the way we do new construction is totally different than our competitors. And that's why we can do the volume we do, because like I was telling her, we do anywhere from 1,200 to 1,700 houses a year. And the reason being is we do them in phases. So you have the guy that goes out and he does the layout, he pulls the strings. Then he comes on to the next house, pulls the strings, the next house pulls the strings. Behind him
Yes.
comes a guy who digs the ditch to the strings, he double checks. Then we have somebody come out and double check that, then we're ready for the next phase. Then the next guy comes out and he's doing the stack out. Then the next guy comes out and he's doing the trim out. Then the last guy that comes out is gonna do the water and the sewer hookup. So we do those in phases. Now we have people who only want to do, like Joe Moran. Joe Moran never wants to do anything but water and sewer. That's all fine and dandy, but when we are done and we don't have water and sewer, he has no other phase to do, so he has to go home, no work. So then you have people like Matt who want to learn as many phases as they can, because when the trim outs are all done, now he can go do a stack out, or when the stack outs are all done, he can go do a rough-in, because we do specialize. And we have some that only want to do that, never want to do anything else. And we have some that says, I want to learn more, I want to know more. And they want to know every single phase. Matt's one of those that wants to learn every single phase. He started out with trim outs, he became a trainer, and now he's learning the other phases, doing very fine, beautiful work. But yes, whatever you're comfortable in, we're going to put you there. And it's, like I said, that's how you grow. Tell me where you want to be and where you see yourself, I will put you there. If you're happy just being this, and you're good with that pay, I'm happy with you just being this, because this is what you have to think about. A person who enjoys their job will produce more for you. So why would I take Joe Moran out of doing waters and sewer and putting him somewhere where he's not happy? And I want to tell you something about Joe Moran, and this is why I say his name. He has a severe learning disability. He is dyslexic, severely. But yet he can look at those plans, because we custom the plans for him. And he can look at those plans and he can do those because he knows now how his brain works, we know how his brain works, and we have him doing nothing but waters and sewers. He tried to do other phases, and because of his learning disability, he can't, and he is making a killing of a living that he wouldn't have made if he did anything else because of his learning disability. He's an exemplary employee, and we helped him, and he helps us. So, but yes, does that answer your question?
Almost.
Okay.
Well, I know like on 2-story houses, you gotta get those tubs upstairs, sometimes they're cast, or they're fiberglass units that one person is not gonna be
Right.
moving up the stairs and stuff. I'm asking if
Sure.
you have like a crew, you know, when we were doing Pulte Homes, we had to put out 10 houses a week.
Yeah, our warehouse has people that when you have a tub, if you say, I can't put this up myself, then when they deliver the tub, the warehouse person comes out and helps you get the tub up.
And just like she said, there's guys that like to work independent. There's also plumbers, a plumber and a plumber, they like to work together because they build this energy. So we allow them to work together and the other, so if we have a bigger house, like, we don't really call them custom, but we do a lot of these houses out in Walton County that are like rentals, and there may be 6 or 7 bathrooms, nothing custom about them, just a large bathroom group. And some of the plumbers like to work together. Hey, you take the drains, I'll take the water, and we'll knock it out. So we do have some guys that like to work together, but typically on a small 2-bathroom house, it's gonna be one guy in a truck.
Yeah, I did those by myself all the time.
Right.
But we do have this, and that's the advantage we have by having so many people, is we do have, and we do work with, if they wanna be a team, we make them a team. If they work well together, we keep them together. If they say no, I mean, cause we've had them where they worked well for 5 years and then came in and said, I can't stand him, I don't wanna work with him ever again. We said, okay, we'll split you up. We split you up. So we have that ability where we are very able to meet your need with who you work with. You know, now if you get in, and this is what I tell them when they're in orientation, because we do have an orientation and where you are one day with me, if you're on the service side, the second day you're with someone else. But I bring them in and I tell them, I say, look, you get 3 chances. I put you with a trainer. You and that trainer don't get along, that's totally okay, that happens, put you with another trainer. You and that trainer don't get along, that's okay, put you with a 3rd trainer. 3rd trainer, you don't get along, I'm thinking the problem is you. So I'm not gonna keep you if you are not a team player. If you don't wanna learn, you don't wanna grow, and I've had 3 shots, because I have some phenomenal, I'm having a hard time talking today. Matt is one of 9 on the new construction, 9 trainers. For Dodge, he trains, we have a training manager, and we have, I think Zach Brock, we've been starting to let him train, and he's only been with us
Less than
4 or
6
5 months. Yeah, 4 or 5 months. He's, actually, this is our Mr. Rooter of the Year, but I have a feeling that he's got competition now, and Zach
Step it
is
up,
his
Dodge.
competition. You better step it up, yeah.
I think I got this year secured though.
No, you might, I don't know, we'll find out. So my point that I'm making is, we have the capability of working with you to find the spot for you and who you can work with, who you can train with, and not all your shops do. You know, your smaller shops don't, and you're with their trainer, and if you two have a personality conflict, it could hurt, you know, but it is what it is. People don't always work well together, so we have the flexibility to switch you and put you with someone else.
More questions? Yes, sir.
Do most of y'all employees like live in the Panama City area, or do y'all have people that live further out?
We have people that live further out.
Okay.
She probably knows that better.
Yeah, I have people that live in Sunny Hills, you know, up in Chipley. I have one that lives, because we do service Mariana. So
Yeah.
if you lived, and the way we do that, that's a good question. What's your name?
Devin.
I'm sorry?
Devin Smith.
Devin?
Devin.
Well, Devin, what we do, because we do service Mariana, we don't so much do it on the new construction side, but we do it on the service side. And we also have people that live in Destin, and we service 5 counties, okay? So what happens is, we have what we call an annex, meaning that some of the bigger, you know, tools, you know, water heaters, toilets, we keep them on site there. and they go there and stock their truck, fill out a form, and they service that area that they're in, and they only come back to the shop on the monthly meeting, or if we have any special meetings, otherwise they Zoom. They come on Zoom and they're in the everyday, because we do meet every morning on the service side, and they Zoom in and they're in the meetings on Zoom. So we absolutely do outside of Bay County, because we service 5 counties, and one of which is we service Mariana.
Okay, cool.
So you keep your truck at the house then? Or how
Pardon?
does that work? You keep your truck at your own house? Your own truck?
I don't hear well, I'm
You
sorry.
keep your own truck at your house?
Yes,
You have a truck?
correct. If you are with us for 1 year on the new construction side and you are actually going and doing a phase, we allow you to keep the truck at your house. Yes, we have GPS, yes, we check it every day. If that truck moves after you go home, you will not keep a truck at your house, okay? And
And
if you're ever seen having someone else in the truck that is not an employee, you will not keep a truck at your house. But otherwise, service side, they all keep, once they have a truck, they do because they may be called for an emergency. So yes, they take the truck home and it has a gas card, and you're 100% allowed to have it at your home.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, a lot of that policy is driven by insurance. Insurance won't allow you just to take joyrides or have a non-employee in the truck. So we have to adhere to those, so we keep our insurance and keep good rates. Yes, sir?
What benefits do y'all offer?
We have, gosh, where to start? Okay, driving the truck home, Blue Cross Blue Shield, dental and vision. We pay on one side, new construction side, we pay $300 towards your principal, towards, what is that called?
Your monthly premium.
Yeah, premium, that's what I was looking for, okay? We pay, to pay it for your premium, we pay $300 towards that. On the service side, because it's a younger group and group insurance is based on age of the whole group, so it's a little less, so we pay $280 towards your premium on the service side, because it is the younger group, the older groups in new construction. So, we do that. We have what we call revenue bonuses, based on how much revenue you bring in for the month. We have driving the trucks home, we have, gosh, I'm trying to think, help me here. Monthly bonuses, we have
Company
bonuses.
shirts.
quarterly bonuses.
Company uniforms.
Their uniforms, you pay for the pants and the shirts?
Yes,
Yes.
correct,
And the hats.
yes.
Hey, you don't have to shop.
Even hoodies, in the wintertime, they order hoodies, so
I
they
have-
want the hoodies.
There's a Renee class, I believe, on the screen.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
So you guys get Renee to come out, is that a classroom at your,
That is our shop.
That is our shop.
that is at your
Training.
shop?
That's our
So,
training room.
so it's continued education as they're there.
100%. Yep, we bring in the
Wonderful.
vendors to teach you, we have the Uponor come in and teach you how to use the Uponor machines, we have Renee come in and teach you, we have any of our vendors, if they're trying, because think about it, they want to promote their items, so they're gonna come in and show you, the jetter, the cable, they all come in and show you how to use them. And we have a training room a little bit bigger than this, where we do, on the service side, every morning we train, on Wednesday we have a big training. On the new construction side, we probably train once, twice a month,
Yeah, about that.
yeah, about,
Unless
yeah.
it's something special.
Yeah, we have specialty training, but we meet regularly twice a month, one for punch and one for, just the monthly meeting.
The benefits especially cost something like that,
Yeah.
like every 6 months or so.
Yeah,
Something.
we do an annual party, and we're doing Let's Make a Deal this year. We do a big, huge annual party where you get to bring your spouse. We vote on whether or not you bring your children. Most of the time, they don't want to bring their children. I think they just want a night out with the spouse so that they can have fun. So it's been outvoted with the children several years in a row now. And so we meet at Captain Anderson's, we have a big room, and this year we're doing Let's Make a Deal. We have trips that we give away, we have prizes that we give
She gives
away,
away a lot of cash.
a lot of cash,
Make it rain.
you know. We pay sick leave, that was another one. I think it's 5 days or 6 days sick leave.
Maybe 6.
6 days sick leave, but you have to bring a doctor's excuse. You can't just call in sick, you gotta bring a doctor's excuse. We do first 5 years, after a year, you get a 1 year paid vacation.
1 week.
I'm sorry, 1
A
week
whole
paid
year?
vacation.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll take a year.
1 week paid vacation.
I'll work.
After 5 years, you get a 2-week paid vacation. After 15 years, you get a 3-week paid vacation. And we haven't really gone after 30, because we just had our first person hit 31, and I told him that's it, he don't get no more paid vacation.
He wants off the table.
Yeah, he just takes off.
I got profit sharing too.
Huh?
Profit sharing too.
Oh, yeah, we have profit sharing. What else? Profit sharing. You take the company, so at the end of the year, I take the company's profits, and I take 3% of whatever the profit is, and I turn around and divide it equally. It does not get divided by your status. It gets, you know, how long you've been there, equally, because the way I figure it, okay, you 100%, every one of you, from the person who cleans the toilet, to the person who dispatches, to makes the bids, every single one of you, to the one who digs the ditches, we could not do it without you. So no, I do not feel that a manager should get more than the guy that digs the ditches. So we take the 3% and we divide it across the board evenly. Now I'm gonna tell you something. On average, on the new construction side, that's about $2,000 a person. On this side, it's about $1,000 a person. So,
So
yes.
if you don't use your 5 days vacation that you've been given, does it roll over?
No, does not roll.
Do you pay it out?
No,
No.
100%.
Use
Use it
it.
or lose it.
Use it or lose it?
Use it or lose it,
And that clock renews every year?
every year. But that's a good question.
And the
Because-
first 5 years, you get it at your hourly rate, whatever that is, and then
Oh,
after that,
that's
you
right.
get it based on what your average weekly rate would have been on like the
Yeah,
piecework
you-
side of things.
You bring me your W-2s, and so we got guys that, you know, the one that makes 140,000, his day off is like $300. So he takes 5 days, he gets $300 for each day. It's based on your W-2 from the prior year. And up to 5 years, it's based on your hourly rate, which is usually the $25, you know, because everybody's higher, or $20. It just depends on how much experience you have when you come to us.
This young man.
Tool-wise, is everything provided, or?
Good question. So what happens is, when you're hired, I give you a tool list. You're gonna check off what you do and do not have. When you have marked it, we do a total on what it's gonna cost. Within 2 days, you have those tools. You're gonna sign that we're gonna take that from your, it's a payroll deduction, and we do it like, it depends on how many tools, but we do it in like $100 increments. What happens is, we don't start it till you finish your 90 days, and the reason being is, when you finish your 90 days, if you had 0 absences, we'll take $100 right off the top, and sometimes, because you didn't order that many tools, now you have a free tool coming because we took the $100 off and it gave you a credit, and you have a free tool. If the $100 comes off, whatever the balance is, we take those deductions from your payroll. You know, usually it's, to get everything that's required, depending on which side you're on. One side I think is like $400, the other side I think it's like $300. So you're usually looking at, if you took the 100 off, in 3 pay periods, you've paid for your
So to
tools.
specify, these are gonna be hand tools. And
Not
that-
the power
Yeah, so the big tools, the corded tools, we supply. There's so many variations with battery packs and all that, we don't supply, unless you wanna go through that system there, we don't supply the cordless tools, because everybody has their preference, DeWalt, Milwaukee, whatever. But corded tools, if you want a corded whole hog, that'll be put on the truck at our expense. The sewer equipment, the jetters, the cameras, the things you're gonna see here in a minute, that's all provided by us. But your hand tools, and that's one thing, I'm telling you what, no matter who you go to work for, the first day on the job, you better have a tape measure. You better have the
And you
basic hand tools. 'cause
Better
the
know
worst-
how to use a tape
Yeah,
measure.
the worst thing in the world is for you to ask the plumber you're working with, hey, can I borrow your tape measure? You're done right there. He's
We
mad at you.
actually, when we interview you for a job, we have a little last page that says find 3 2/16 and mark it on the tape measure.
3 3/16.
3
and 5
3/16, whatever it
So I
is.
require you to find that on your
Because
application.
it
That's
does me
part of the
no
application.
good if you have a tape measure and you don't know how to use it.
So people show up and they say, I've been plumbing for 5 years, and I'll flip that page and they couldn't find that measurement. I'm like, no, you haven't. You haven't been plumbing.
You had a question?
Two actually. One, what's your pay period, and two, I've only heard y'all talking about hiring new people. Do y'all hire people with, like, say they're journeymen or something?
Yeah, we'll hire anybody. I mean, if you, here's what I look for when I hire. I look for, are you high maintenance? Do you know what that means?
Take care of you.
It just means, you know, I'm looking for, will you be a mental fit? Because I want somebody who believes in themselves, I want somebody who's willing to grow, I want somebody who wants to be better today than they were yesterday. That's what I look for. He looks for, do you have the technical ability to learn? It doesn't mean you have to know how to be a plumber, it means you have the ability to learn. That's what he looks for.
So pay period, our company runs, this 2-week pay period runs from Wednesday to Tuesday. This is a 2-week period, so every 2 weeks you get paid.
So you messed with the paydays Friday rule?
No, you get paid on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just every other Friday.
Right, it's just
Oh,
every
okay.
other Friday. But to kind of clarify what you asked here, take this room full of people, and I don't know any of you, so I'm not judging anybody. This guy on this side of the room could be the best technically, the best plumbing scores, whatever. But this person on this side of the room have the best attitude and be a mediocre plumber, I'm gonna hire that person before I hire this person. Only because the person that's got the best attitude, best work ethic, they're gonna be open to learn, to change, to be coached. And you have to open yourself up and be coached and be humble to that. So,
Yeah, because you have to think about it. I can teach you technical skills, these guys can teach you. If you don't have attitude, if you don't have the right balance to want to grow, to want to be a better person today than you were yesterday, I can't teach that. Let me put it to you this way. I had in a truck, I had a new hire, and he was in a truck, and this is just to give you the expectations of your standards that we expect. Driving down the road, he was with Matt, not this Matt, a different Matt, we have a whole bunch of Matts, okay, so, and a whole bunch of Zachs. So he was with Matt, he throws his cup out the window. I thought Matt was gonna have a heart attack, and he was like, and sure enough, somebody saw it, numbers on the truck, name of the business is on the truck, they call us, they hand the call to me, says, your truck at such and such, we have GPS, pulled it up, I call Matt, I say, Matt, you wanna tell me what you're doing, throwing trash out a window? Oh, it was the new guy, and I told him, and I told him it was gonna happen, and I told him what you'll do, and I told him, I said, okay, give me the phone to him. I gave him the phone, I said, you like your job? He said, yes ma'am. I said, you wanna keep it? Yes ma'am. Don't you ever throw anything out of my truck again. That's what I look for. Did your mama not teach you not to throw something out of the truck? I can teach you technical. I can't teach you integrity. You either have it or you don't. And to me, integrity counts. Because when you're doing service and you're in front of that person, I don't want you to sell a bald man a comb. I want you to have integrity, and I want you to give him the best offers and the different options. Because I want to make his day. I don't want to put money in my pocket or your pocket. That's how they keep coming back. And integrity cannot be taught.
I saw that real quick, we'll get to you. I saw this quote the other day, it's really cool. It says, you can beat 99% of the people if you can master the shame of rejection, the boredom of repetition, right? And the pain of feedback. So think about that. You gotta the boredom of repetition. I guarantee you Dodge gets tired of walking to the customer's door and putting down a mat, putting on the shoe covers, but he has to do that over and over and over again, because that customer's never seen it. He's seen it 1,000 times. So that repetition, and then the feedback, you gotta be open to feedback. And there's no rejection in all sorts of life, but you gotta push forward.
Do you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Got a question for Dodge. When you were on your way up, what was your workload like? Were you on call 24/7, 7 days a week, and is it still the same way now?
So the on-call is split between all the guys, so it's, you do have a week. It is a Wednesday, or it's a Wednesday to Tuesday, and it has actually since changed because we've offered a different plan, but it used to be, anyone calls, we're covering 5 counties. If you need us, we're there. So at the very beginning, that was
It wore
pretty
you
bad.
out.
Yeah.
But you
It
weren't
did.
7 days a week, you're on a rotation of every 4
Yep.
weeks. So now, but we changed it, and I'm sorry, Dodge.
I was just saying, depending on, at the time, I think we were pretty low, because I think I just got thrown into it, but it just depends on how many people you got. So at one point, I was on call every month and a half, you know? It just depends on how many people we got.
Well, until them, after you get them off call.
Oh yeah, you get, 4 days, so you work that Wednesday to Tuesday, you work that Wednesday, and then you get the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so. It gives you that little break after a long week, because typically they are pretty long.
And then outside of that, you'll have a first up Saturday to work alongside the on-call guy. And if you're first up Saturday, you get off Sunday and Monday. So we try to give you some time off after, because it is taxing, man, it'll wear you out.
And we did change it, we no longer just do everybody, what we do now is emergencies only, and they have to be a repeat customer. We're not gonna do it for the guy that says, hey, my toilets are overflowing, my plumber won't come out, can I get you guys to come out? We'll be glad to schedule you for Monday at 8 a.m. because I'm not gonna wear my guys out. For somebody who doesn't use me on a regular basis, I'm literally going to push that person off and only do the service for my existing customers with an emergency, because we were wearing them out. And it's just like, and I don't mean to say this, we don't need the money to the point that we have to wear the guys out just so we can make some income. They should be first. You know?
But that's how much plumbers are needed here.
Yes.
They are
100%.
needed across the board here. We just had a plumbing company quit, just flat out, close the doors, done. Because he couldn't get any of his family or workers to move up to the position of running the shop. So he retired and closed his doors,
Is that here in
sold his
Marietta?
trucks, yes. He was our Mr. Reuter, he was our new construction right here for his whole entire career. But he couldn't get anybody to step up, so he had to close his doors and sell everything off. Even his own kids didn't step up. Now, you know that I've been behind that company and fixed things that they didn't fix because somebody didn't take the time to train his people that the first thing on the bathtub is pull the plug, look, see if there's something under there.
We literally have been in business for so long and we are such a strong company. I doubt you're gonna, okay, we own 72, or on Highway 77, 42 acres of land that's just for, what would you call it, development. We're deciding on what to do with that. We also own at the shop, how many acres is it, 5? With a 10,000 square foot building, 5,000 of it is the, you can see it, is this right here is 5,000 square foot. That's the office and the warehouse. There's just the warehouse guys. We have a warehouse manager, fleet manager, and inventory manager. Their office is in there. Okay, just a small office, you know, maybe no bigger than this right here, but they're in there. Then we have 5,000 square foot that has all the admin, and that's everything from dispatchers to CSRs who take the phone calls, to HR manager, payroll manager, warranty, because we have to go back on warranty calls for new construction. So, I mean, it houses, and the training room that you see right there, it houses that in that 5,000 square foot. We have, how many trucks? Oh,
Between the two companies, probably close to 60.
okay, 60 trucks. That's why we have a fleet manager, because he has to keep track of them, and when they need oil changes, when we need an inventory, you know, checked, everything. All of this, and we have a place over in Destin, because we have service techs that are in Destin. All of this is debt-free. No loans owed anywhere. Because we invest our money back into the company and back into the employees. We understand what she's saying. We have, that work for us is my son is the warehouse manager. My daughter is the dispatch director. She directs dispatching. And then my other daughter works from home and she manages our websites. And then my daughter-in-law, she does our TikTok and our videos. None of them want it. None of them want it. So we're in it, and our goal is that maybe one day we can turn it over to the employees, and the employees take it from there. That's our goal, because you're looking at an extremely profitable business. We are, with the new construction side, sales was 19 million with a 19%, I don't know if you understand profit margins, meaning that if you take 19 times 19 million, that's how much profit we made, okay? And there is no debt anywhere. Our shop, our trucks, so we turn around and you said, what kind of benefits do you have? Anything possible that we can give back to our employees, we create for them. We get them newer trucks, we get them newer equipment. You know, we literally invest back into the company.
And the community.
And the community. We do a lot for Boys and Girls Club, a lot for Arc of the Bay, we do a lot for children's advocacy, we do a lot for animal refuge. I'm trying to think. Habitat for Humanity, we build houses for Habitat Humanity, it doesn't cost them anything, we pay our employees to do it. So this is where it is so important that if God is blessing you, and I apologize if I said that, but if God is blessing you, you pay it forward. It's very important that you pay it forward. And if you can become a part, and we're not, I'm sure, the only company does that, but if you can become a part of that company, you will be blessed.
What else do I got? Yes, sir.
What all counties do y'all service?
Gulf County, Jackson County, Washington County, May County, Walton County, Okaloosa County, so 6.
Yes.
Do y'all ever feel like, does everybody like meet at the main office in Panama, or do they just like go
Okay,
to?
good question. On the
Like
new
every
construction side, everybody meets at the main office, with the exception, some of them will come in the night before only because maybe it's closer to their home. So they'll load their truck that night so they can go straight to the job site when they get up in the morning. That's new construction. Service side, everybody, no matter where they're at, has to either be in that training room via Zoom or physically present in the training
For
room.
the morning huddle, we have
For the
a
morning huddle.
Okay, okay.
So the employees we have in Niceville, they Zoom in every morning. We go to that remote location she was talking about, and they Zoom in, and everybody's in a group chat, and they're up on that big screen in the morning.
Okay.
Yes.
The ones that don't live right, they're close by.
Yeah, 'cause I was just thinking like your new employees that just started, like you want them like at the Panama
So here's,
office every
here
morning.
is the
ready for
challenge
work.
with that. If
Yes.
you're in training, you're gonna have to be there
Present every
every day.
morning until you're out of
Gotcha.
training.
So that is a challenge
Correct.
for new people. Sure.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And, you go ahead, Matthew.
Is there a difference between like the job wise for Mr. Hobbs and Mr. Ruger? Like,
I'm sorry, is there a difference between?
Like, do you guys do the exact same jobs, or are they a little
They
different for
can't
each?
cross. New construction, we have, Mr. Reuter's actually a franchise, so we are, you know, we're under rules and regulations. Even though we privately own it, it is a franchise, so we can't cross over. Service cannot do new construction, and we don't allow new construction to do service, so that doesn't cross over and we don't violate our franchise agreement,
So,
okay?
does which one's does service?
Mr.
Mr.
Stewart.
Mr. Ruger does service, okay.
Yeah, the only service we do is like warranty calls for the houses that we did.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, later on in your career with your company, can you switch from service to new
Yes.
construction if you're wanting to learn both for your
Yeah.
own company
But-
someday?
Yeah, both have happened. We have people who have switched. I'll give you an example. Sean worked on the service side for like 7-8 years, and he was going through some personal problems and made the decision that he was gonna leave us. And I said, well, why are you leaving us? He said, Pam, while this is all going on, I don't think I can face customers. And I said, well, don't leave us, switch. And he goes, well, I said, switch, go to new construction, you don't have to face customers. So he switched, he's now been with us about, I don't know, almost coming up on 18 years. And he switched and it worked out good, his personal life got together, he wants to stay over there, he's really liking it, excelling, doing very well, so he stayed on the new construction
Yeah,
side.
just
On
like
the
she
flip,
mentioned, we're gonna move you around to where you're happy
Yes.
and at peace.
yeah, we had one gentleman, he came to work for us as a dispatcher, did not do very well at it. He was a great person, had never called in sick, always working, we didn't want to lose him. So he's had 5 different positions with the different companies, and now he's doing phenomenal in the position that he's at. Meaning that, I told you, if you have good work ethics and you have the ability to grow, I'll find a place for you. When I've tried everything and nothing fits, then I'm gonna have to let you go. But we tried 5 different positions. He now is our cameraman for when a new construction house gets ready to sell. Before it sells, he goes out, and before they do the closing, he cameras the lines to make sure that nothing grout, paint, nothing got down in the line. And in addition to that, he does all of our charitable organization, PRs, golfing. I mean, he gets paid to go golf. Okay, to wear a Mr. Rooter t-shirt or a Hobbs Plumbing t-shirt and cameras and lines on new construction houses. Yes.
This young lady's been waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Keep this in
sweetheart.
there.
No problem. So I have 2 questions. When you talked about the females,
Yes.
and I wondered how you deal with personal emergencies,
What do we mean by personal emergency?
maybe like maternity leaves.
Yes. We currently have a young lady off on maternity leave right now, and it's the law, you know, but what we've done for her, because her vacation is used up, we have a self-improvement class that you take online, and so she's starting that today, because she just had the baby, okay, from home, and she'll get paid for the hours that she
That
completes
she's
on
logged
there.
into that course.
Yeah. So if that's available, we do. Doesn't mean that all positions that's available for, but that's a good question, because we recently, we're getting ready to hire a young man who starts December 17th, I believe, on the service side. If you're on a call and you are in the call, meaning you've shut off their water or you're putting in a new water heater or whatever, and you have somebody said, hey, the kid's sick, you gotta go pick him up from school, not happening, because you're in a call. That person's there. I have went and picked kids up from school. You call the school, tell them I can pick them up. I went and picked them up, put them in the sofa in my office and said, stay here, mommy will be done. When you finish that call, now you can come. Now, if it's a serious emergency, we're gonna get someone out there, we're gonna get you wherever you gotta go, but I'm not gonna do it for, hey, he's got a fever, run and pick him up. I'm not doing it. You're in the middle of a call. Do you see what I mean? I mean, it is reality, you know, we're
But
gonna
it
work
sounds
with
like
you.
you're working together like a family to me,
Correct.
because
Yes,
grandma goes and picks up the kid because,
Yep.
you know, mom's not available. It sounds like
yeah,
you care about your employees
I
like a
will
family.
work with you, you have to work with me.
And what was your second question?
About shift types. I know some might have like a 7.
Okay, on new construction, we do. They really set their time. The only thing I require is that the last shift, in other words, they have to be on the job site by 9 a.m. And that's because a contractor is gonna get really ticked if he gets to that job site and he's expecting the stack out to be done and it's 9 o'clock, ain't nobody there. He's gonna be very mad. So we have some, like you said, you come in at what, 5:30?
Yeah.
I got one that comes in at 4:30.
It's great.
Yeah, he's crazy, we all agree. Comes in at 4:30, he's done by 2. But new construction, they set what time frame, as long as the last time frame is they are on the job site by 9 o'clock.
And some have
Okay,
kids,
that
they
was
want to
kind
get
of
to
my
school
question,
and
like,
such
do
as
y'all
that.
have like set hours of work overtime, like, you know, Monday through Friday or whatever? or-
Okay, with new construction, there is no overtime, you're paid piecework.
Yeah,
So, and I tell them, this is how I do it with new construction, if you wanna finish the job so that it goes on your payroll, because let's say today's Tuesday, that's the last day of the pay period, so you wanna finish that job, you can work till dark. You know, and then you're paid piecework, which is not overtime, but here's my thing. I have to calculate that if your hours you worked and I had paid you overtime, what you made in piecework, it surpasses what you would have made in your hourly time and a half. So as long as that happens, I will let you work till dark. Do you see what I mean? But if your piecework, you're kind of slow and you're not doing productive work, and so I'm not paying you time and a half. And so you're working, a 70-hour week, or let's say a 85-hour 2 week, whatever. I have to look at that and I have to say, if he'd have made time and a half, was his piecework, it has to always be more. And as long as it's more, I'm good. But if I start looking at it and it's not more, I'm not gonna let you work overtime because you work too slow. Does that make sense? Because I bid the labor on that job at this cost. That was the labor on that job. So if I'm gonna have to pay you, in other words, compensate you because you didn't do it, it's a 3-day job, you took 5 days. That cost. So we would be having a chat.
But you have to really try to work that slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do what you say?
But you have to really try to work that slow.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, do you guys build like partnerships with like other trade companies or contracting companies? Say like a contracting company's like, man, y'all do this job so well, I wanna use y'all more.
We
Y'all
we
build-
have, yes, we
y'all
have,
build partnerships and relationships with
oh,
like
yeah,
that.
we name them,
Well,
yeah.
so, on the service side, we have some referrals, you know, other AC companies, restoration companies that we refer, they refer us, cause we get there and, hey, we found this leak, it's not actually the water heater, it's the AC company, you know, the AC is leaking, so we have to refer them out, so we will do that. And we're very careful and particular about who we refer, because we want to refer somebody at least at the same level as we are, standards we have to take care of customers.
On the new construction side, we do builders, and we build from them all the time.
Yeah.
We have D.R.
And-
Horton, Adams Homes, there are a lot of national builders, that's why we do the volume that we do.
And then we pick up more work, because the new builder comes in, he sees us doing for all those big players, and they want the same company, so, yeah, yes, ma'am?
I saw on your website, you guys, you talk about remodels and stuff, and that's cabinets, countertops.
No, I'm not sure exactly. We will do some small minor remodels, but as far as going in and rebuild, doing a whole kitchen or whatever, we're gonna refer you to a GC, and then hopefully they'll let us do the plumbing side of it, but let them manage, you know, the structural.
Yeah, we're not
parts.
going to do the remodel, we're only going to do the plumbing in the remodel.
And so, just for
Oh, it
context,
could be some sub-website that picked you guys up
it
on
could be that, and then for kind of context, there's some things we have to promote, like, we don't do septic work, but we have to put septic because people are synonymous with, hey, I live in the city limits and I'm on city sewer, but my septic's overflowing. So we have to filter that down whenever we take that call and say, your address says you're in the city, are you sure you're on septic? No, I'm on city sewer.
I have a septic tank, I'm in the middle of the city, right
Well,
here in
and that does
Marietta.
happen, so we have
It
to put
happens in
some,
Lynn Haven too.
we have to put some of those terms in just to pull that call in.
Yeah, and
then
our
we can filter.
CSR, she will be able to work with you
To
and know
filter that
whether or
out.
not it's something we can do, and we refer you to a septic company.
Well, I was the one who figured it out, the city was charging me for dumping down their lines.
Yeah, yeah.
And I put my camera down the drain and said, you know, all the times I asked them to come out, they didn't show up. But when I said that, their truck was in my yard within 20 minutes. Cause now they had to pay me back for 3 years of,
Wow.
Any your question?
I had a few. So, I didn't know what she asked about female. What do y'all do if one of your female employees is sexually harassed?
Okay, we have a sexual harassment policy, I teach it every year. I have and will not tolerate it, it's non-negotiable. I've had incidences, just like the law requires, they are investigated. I've never, the worst one, I can tell you this, new construction, she was being threatened on the job by another trade, it was an electrician. So she came to me and she said, this gentleman is making me nervous, he's also making the ladies that clean the new construction sites, he's making her nervous. She said, I went on to some website and he was a sex offender, and she showed me all of that, and I said, okay, here's what we'll do, I don't want you on that website, I'm gonna take this information to the contractor.
That job site.
I took the information to the contractor, the gentleman was terminated, they did not say who or what, you know, got him terminated, they let him go. But sexual harassment is taken very seriously, but on the flip side, you need to recognize, and this is what's taught to the women and the men, sexual harassment is your first responsibility. If you feel that you're being harassed, you have to voice to that person, I do not like the way you are talking to me. I do not want you to touch me. I do not, because they may not realize it is sexual harassment. Once you have taken that responsibility, if it doesn't cease and desist, at that point in time, it is your responsibility to come to the supervisor and state what's going on. And from there, it's handled. Sexual harassment is not where, oh, I didn't like the way he talked to me, but you said nothing to him. Because he doesn't know. There are a lot of people that don't know that what offends you may not offend this person, may not offend this person. So it's your responsibility to say to that person, this is offensive to me. I will not tolerate anything to do with race. I will not tolerate anything to do with sexual gender or preferences. It is non-negotiable. And every year we teach that. And every year, and all the times we've been doing this with him for 20 years, I've had the one where she was terrified to go to work. I've had one where one of the plumbers, he would make honey, sweetheart, because he was from an older generation, which is my generation. The young lady did not want to be called honey or sweetheart. And I said, well, did you tell him? Well, no, he's just calling me. I said, tell him. That's your first obligation. Please don't call me honey. Please don't call me sweetheart. My name is Pam. So you have a responsibility to communicate what's bothering you. Now, that is not naked pictures, that is not fondling you, that is just something was offensive to you. Because the definition of sexual harassment isn't just sexual harassment anymore. It is in addition to what you would call hostile work environment. So this is something I teach every January. They have to hear it over and over and over. And pictures, absolutely not allowed. I had one gentleman who took a picture, who was out on the beach and she was topless, and he sent the picture to everybody, including my husband.
I'm like, here, take this, I don't want it.
And I was like, dude, you are so terminated if you ever do this again. And it went in his file, he was written up, 100% it is non-negotiable. I had somebody took and I don't know if you are aware of who Ferguson is, it's a plumbing supply house. They had a calendar of women in some extremely skimpy bathing suits, if you want to even call them that. They hung it up in the warehouse. I have female plumbers. And I said, I'll put this up. You know, and Fred goes, oh, I did it, isn't it cool? I said, no, absolutely not. And it came down. So it's not like I'm gonna fire someone because they make a stupid mistake, but yes, they will be counseled, it will be recorded, there will be total documentation of everything, and should that offense, they get a thing that says, should this reoccur, you will be terminated. And yes, they are terminated. Never had to do it, because in my office, there are what we call non-negotiables, and I make it very clear, they are non-negotiable.
Another question I had was, as y'all said that they were able to take the trucks home, do y'all pay for the gas, or?
You have a car, a gas card, the truck has a gas card.
And also, y'all said that new construction has like shift hours, so saying working nights, or no, not nights, but like afternoons.
You mean just start time, like
Your
we got
start
guys
time.
starting between 4:30 and say 8, so that just shifts. So we've got like a single dad who has 2 kids and he's gotta get them off to daycare or school or whatever, so he comes in a little bit later than say Matt would. You know, he's trying to get in and out early. Summertime comes, the guys that are running the shovel, they wanna get there super early and get their ditches dug, say before 9, 10 o'clock to beat the heat, and then they're knocking off by 1, 2 o'clock, they've already put in their 8, 9 hours. Or
And on the flip side, when the weather gets cold, they come in a little later because they want the sun to be up, you know, so they have that ability. The only requirement I make is that they must, the latest they can be at a job site, the latest is 9 o'clock. They have to be at the job site by 9
So y'all
o'clock.
couldn't hire anybody in front that would be in class like this one?
It would be very difficult.
Yeah, because you can't.
Yeah. it would
You have
be
to
very
realize
difficult,
that,
yes.
one, in new construction, your contractor wants you on the job site.
Yeah, well,
Okay?
and.
In the service side, they're calling you and you're going out between 8 to 5. We have some shift that we do on the service side. If you were on a call late at night because you went to an emergency, then you don't have to come in until 10 to 12 that next day. But to do shift work in a service company or a new construction company, it's really not feasible in what you're thinking of. It's just not.
You just have to do like night classes or something like that if you want
Yes.
to continue education.
Yes.
So it's best if you're in a place where you can get all of this and you can financially afford it, and then once you get past this, then seek out funding, you know, to apply what
That's
you're doing.
Any other questions? Yeah. You got anything for us? Do you have any questions?
Nope.
You good?
Not really. I wanna see the trucks, I wanna see how you guys organize the trucks and stuff. One of the things that we go over is they're supposed to learn how to do rigging and stuff. The only thing to practice rigging on is my truck, and I went ahead and got the straps there built into my rack. So,
Okay. Yeah, so we don't have a pickup truck with us today, but with all the trucks that we have running, the trucks with the pipe racks. So for years, we ran a lot of these pre-built pipe racks that had an open front. And I got to thinking about, sometimes we're bundling up a lot of pipe. We started building the cage on the front, because my worst nightmare in my head was, we have to slam on brakes, and they didn't tie down the pipe, and it goes forward, and it hits that car with those kids, that family in the front. So we started building the cage in the front to prevent that pipe from pushing forward. So
my first job, they sent me to pick up my boss's truck, and I was union at the time. You're always taught that you double check the load before you take off.
100%.
And being an apprentice, I got out there, start checking the load, and the journeyman who loaded it told me, "You don't know what you're doing." I did it. Get in the truck. Interstate, first exit, gas pipe, black, shooting off.
Yep.
Takes out my boss's hood, shoots out across 4 lanes of traffic.
that's the worst, isn't it? Right.
Our trucks, each truck, is different for the phases on the new construction. Your stack out truck is different than your rough-in truck. We also have people who do what we call rough trucks. They do both the rough-in and the stack out, so their truck is different. But all of the trucks are, and the trim-out trucks are different. You bought a trim-out truck, right? Yeah, so that all the trucks are different, and they're all caged. We even have started putting the grill on the front, just to, so that when they do, because what people don't understand, it's like when you're on the interstate anywhere, you as a car might be able to dead stop. That big old truck behind you is not gonna dead stop. So we do teach them, we have driving instructors come in, and we've had that done, and we do teach them that we go over safety topics, that you are a truck, it's gonna take you longer to stop. You need to not tailgate. Don't tailgate, that's your biggest thing. But when it happens, we started putting the grills on the front, just so, yeah, we took the hit, they're gonna sue because you're what? You're a company, they're gonna sue. And when they sue, at least your truck wasn't damaged because it has a grill on the front.
And we can get to the
That's
call
what you
after,
hope for.
right,
So, yeah.
The other part about that is those black rubber bungees. They get dry rotted in the sun, you pull down on them, they snap, hit you in the head. You gotta use those ratchet straps.
Yeah,
And we do
They'll
truck
do-
inspections, how often? Weekly truck inspections, so we are looking to make sure that your straps are good, that your iron cage is good, that everything is good. So, we have a fleet manager who does all that. He also goes around and he looks for dents that you didn't identify. He checks the brakes, he checks the lights. So we have that done on a regular basis because he manages the 64 vehicles or however many vehicles we have.
Is there like spare vehicles?
Yes. They're fully stocked spare vehicles, so that if your truck breaks down, then all you gotta do is get your personal tools and take them from this truck and put them on another truck and you're ready to go. Because think about it, if you're not on a job site, you're costing me money. So we have the spares so that we can go from your broke down truck into this truck and you keep moving. Yes. It's pretty organized, probably. Out of all the plumbing companies in our area, I would say we are more than likely the most organized. That's what we get when we get new hires in. They go, wow, this thing's run like a well-oiled machine. It is extremely organized.
But not perfect, we're always
No.
working on it.
We're always growing. Huh?
Always room for improvement.
Yep.
Y'all wanna look at some trucks?